So you're looking after the I've got to say, I'm getting curious. I wonder what kinds of drinks you can mix with the ingredients Glenfiddich has prepared. I don't have much of... As the captain of the reconnaissance company, I have to lead by example. So, I've been intensifying my training lately. Anyway, on top, since I'm one of the captains with the highest attendance rate when it comes to these things, I have to prepare thoroughly to make sure I'm a serious match for the champion duelist. And then after the exchange, I need to write at least 6 different reports based on the result. Oh, I sure could. Anything that'll perk me up would be welcome. I'll...
One twinkling starlight for Captain Eula. Hope you like it.
Judging by your confident tone, I'm certain I will. Sweet and tingly, with a delightful airiness. I suddenly feel full of vim and vigor. But just one glass doesn't quite scratch the itch. How about something with a bit more bite? Don't hold back. You don't need to worry about putting me on the floor with nothing but a couple of drinks. Works for me. The first company hasn't assigned me any paperwork for tonight, so... That's right. The merchant I got it from called it Romero... Oh, in that book, Miss... After a duel, to properly play host to Miss Clorand, But Amber said something that makes a lot of sense. She said that even if this custom doesn't really exist, following it still shows I've made an effort to understand Fontaine's cultural heritage. Besides, who doesn't like trying new... I'll treat Miss Clorand to this juice at... If you want to know what I've been eating recently, they launched a diet improvement initiative and started distributing a form of standardized canned food to knights operating in the wilderness. In the past, we only had dry rations. Now we just need to bring our standard field rations, comprising of 5 cans and 9 paper packages. You did say, sounds like, right? Our canned food supplier has quite the stellar reputation, and their regular meals are indeed quite good. The problem is, in order to meet preservation standards, they have to make their military-grade meals way too salty. The vice captain of the 5th Company, who has a somewhat dry sense of humor, went so far as to say, this food's bad enough to bring down the wrath of Li Yue's stove god. In any case, after eating it for a week, my taste buds have gone completely numb. You can hardly blame the logistics company. Of course, having fresh meals prepared in camp by a dedicated company chef is still the best option. Yes, I have. For a while, the situation there was difficult. To make matters worse, several veteran knights who had been stationed at Dorman Port were transferred to my squad, and they weren't happy to be taking orders from that Lawrence girl. Leading them on this mission was quite eventful. It took 3 weeks of stealth operations in the snow, with no fires to keep us warm, before we finally located the enemy's stronghold. Those veteran knights faced the bitter cold and were almost taken down by the enemy's smuggled battle mechs. Fortunately, the battle went our way, and they had no choice but to acknowledge my ability. Me? I'm completely fine. But it was mentally tiring for sure. But fortunately, the operation wore them down far more than it did me. If any new recruits try to make my life difficult, I'll just have my veterans give them a few friendly pointers. Oh my. To be honest, I'm eager to begin, but also a little nervous. Miss Cloran's combat style comes from the mysterious Marechaussee hunters. In the library, there are some old Fontanian newspapers from hundreds of years ago that give some idea of how formidable an organization. A more recent newspaper claimed that Miss Cloran was an orphan from an underwater kingdom, and that before battle she would perform rituals inviting spirits to possess her sword. Assuming these rumors are true, or that Miss Cloran's abilities might even be more extraordinary than that, it's important that I'm prepared for anything. Incorporating, I sure could do with an That's right. You really know your stuff. I doubt there's anyone else in all of Tevat who could come up with such a perfect metaphor. There's no... In recent years, firewaters gained popularity the world over, following in the wake of prosperous Snezhnayan merchants. You really are good. Why don't we... As for the... Brilliant!
Here's your all-new Seafoam Sword Song, mixed to meet your
Oh my! What beautiful colors! And you even added my Romaritime flower fruit. The aroma is perfect, and I can smell the alcohol. Give me a moment to... But... can you mix me another? I think I'm gonna head home and get some sleep. By the time I've gone a few rounds with that, Miss... Gee. I won't be forgetting this injustice in a hurry.
Suspicion While patrolling the area, I was sure I'd sensed a familiar presence, so I came over to take a look. And sure enough, here you are. If Miss Charlotte were to see you like this, I'm guessing she'd take 100 pictures and write up a report. Sword-wielding traveler's secret... You'd make the front pages of every major newspaper, and there'd be crowds of Fontanian tourists flocking to your drink stand, causing gridlock on the streets of Luckily for you, I turned down Miss Charlotte's request to accompany me here, so you're unlikely to be seeing any scenes like that. And that look on your face tells me you have a lot of questions you want to ask. Calm and effortless.
Your caramel blaze is ready.
It sure lives up to its name. The color reminds me of a raging fire, while that aroma really hits you head on. It's quite... I'm all right. I just need a little time to get used to it. As I recall, the last time I drank alcohol was at a wine tasting event that Navia invited me to last year. From a purely rational perspective, alcohol can cause dizziness and impair one's ability to work, so it's best avoided altogether. But when Miss Farina saw me off at the docks, she mentioned that Mondstadt is the land of wine and poetry. In fact, according to my intelligence, the captain of the reconnaissance company, who I'm preparing to spar with, has quite the refined taste for fine wine. Her publicly available battle reports are truly a sight to behold. Out of the utmost respect for her skills, I feel compelled to deepen my knowledge of Mondstadt's... I truly appreciate... Huh? Does that mean she's already finished her commission? Once I return to Fontaine, perhaps I can let Sigewin know that I'd be happy to purchase her latest perfume. I'm not sure. On my way to Mondstadt, we happened to take the same boat. I've often heard Sigewin praise her work. After conversing with her on the journey over, she's gentle and composed. Yet, oh, thank you. Best to just let things... Since I eat a lot of meat, the slight acidity of the juice helps balance out the greasiness. After the swordsmanship exchange, the night I had 8 different meat dishes, and all of them were excellent. Of course, there was still room for improvement. I've certainly tried all the red meat dishes. I think I've had enough calories to sustain 3 days of vigorous work. To be honest, I can still taste the grease. Indeed it is. The knights codenamed Hazelnut 3 and Hazelnut 5 gave me this crest. They told me the design has only just been finalized. Apparently it's only presented to important guests. You're not, but I'm certain you'll get to know them in time. After handling my affairs, they headed to the tavern for a gathering, saying they wanted to continue last night's duel, drinking barrels of beer the night before, yet being able to work with clear minds the next day. So what you're saying is, while I've seen a little. I took a stroll around the city the first day I got here. Navia's done some rather extensive research on this place. Many of the scenes and illustrations for the tabletop troupe were inspired by views of Mondstadt. However, the way she describes the atmosphere in her world building is quite different from the real Mondstadt. Perhaps because I've recently, the newer weapons and armor produced in Mondstadt have been created using a completely different heat treatment process from those in Fontaine, with a higher carbon content in the surface layer. While this has slightly reduced their overall toughness, their impact resistance has greatly improved. Perhaps it's because that scent gave me such a positive first impression. Over time, the faint fragrance becomes overly sweet. And for some reason, it makes my teeth feel funny. Of course, there is a solution to this. The next time you find yourself in Fontaine, if you also dislike being bombarded with sweetness, this protective agent should suit you well. Are you already planning? Based on my previous experiences with alcohol, I guess my tolerance is similar to Emily's. So when the time comes, I think you'd be best off mixing similar drinks for the both of us. All right, even if it's...
All right. A cocktail made exclusively for champion duelists.
There's a subtle saltiness that combines well with the tartness of the fruit and the sweetness of the caramel. The color of the wine also fits well with the name. But where does the leisure time part come in? I see. Its unique aroma and taste will hold a special place in my memories of Mondstadt. Do you think, if the chance were, mostly for Navia and Miss Farina's sake, though I understand, thanks to you, whether I'm facing the powerful captain of the reconnaissance company